it was a messy show, and at one point the stage caught on fire because they're literally shooting like fireworks at the stage.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Johnny Christ. This is Drinks with Johnny. On this week's episode, I'm joined by a friend that I met through another friend, Darby Allin. I have the pleasure of having Nolan, a.k.a. Das Rake, from Ghostemane on the show today. Again, I met through Darby Allin the first time we had him on the show here, and we've become friends over the years with that now. And as I said, he's in the band Ghostemane. He's done a lot of cool things. I think he's doing the Hoodlum brand with Darby Allin. We'll be talking a little bit about that. So much more to get into with Nolan. It's also, I just found out, guys, this is his first podcast he's ever done, and he's really nervous about it. So I'm going to have some fun with this one. Looks like he's ready to go. So let's start the show. How the hell are you, man?
Doing good. How are you?
Fantastic. I just got out of the off the phone with my therapist. We're feeling great.
Feeling good.
It's a great Thirsty Thursday. Where are you at right now?
I'm in Atlanta right now. So I moved in with Darby about a year ago.
Wait, you're living at Darby's house?
Yeah, I moved in March.
Wow.
Or last March, sorry. So it's been like a year and a few months.
Okay.
But yeah, he should be on his way home right now. He flew in. He had the show last night, had Dynamite. So he's on his way home right now. But yeah, I'm in my little room in Atlanta. They're building a skate park outside right now. It's like 90 degrees out, hotter than heck, but AC's blasting, got a hoodie on inside.
Yeah, what?
I'm not used to this. It's insane because you go outside, it's hotter than heck, and then you come in, the AC's blasting. So I'm still getting used to this, like.
Well, we're going to have to get used to your internet there. It just broke up there a little bit.
Is it working?
It's working, but we got a little freeze frame there for a second.
Oh, shoot.
You're all good.
There was actually no internet until I moved in, and I was like, Darby, we got to get Wi-Fi. We need it. How
was he doing anything before?
His phone or drive to the Starbucks.
Wow. All right. I'm going to... I got off the phone with Darby the other day while you guys were filming something for Zoomies, right? Or the Hoodlum brand.
Yeah, for the Hoodlum brand, yeah. We were filming on Wednesday, the 25th. We have a new drop coming out. So we were just doing a little photo shoot. We're making like his ring jacket and like his ring pants. So we wanted to actually do like a proper little shoot here at the house. So, of course, we had to get the flamethrower out and make it very Darby-esque.
I can't wait to see that. So you, correct me if I'm wrong here. You're actually a co-creator of the Hoodlum brand with him.
Yeah, me and him. We do everything. We have a production team in LA that actually prints it and fabricates everything. But yeah, it's just me and him. He's kind of the face, and I kind of do like the the behind the scenes kind of stuff with it. But yeah, we just got into Zoomies. In June is when all the stores should have it. They started shipping stuff out this month, so hopefully in June you could see it in stores.
Awesome, man. I mean, here in Huntington Beach, I'm not sure if there's any Zoomies left. I got to be completely honest, but if there is, I'll make sure I find in Huntington Beach specifically. I'm sure if I go out in Orange County now,
there's got to be some in OC somewhere, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Maybe one surviving, right? Zoomies. Yeah, I think so. We got one I'm from Santa Barbara, and we got one there that's still there somehow on State Street. But yeah, I don't know. I'm stoked.
No, you should be. It's still. I mean, I'm not knocking it. I think that's fucking huge, man. To get your guys' your clothing brand in there is going to be awesome. I'm hoping you're going to bring some out when I see you guys in Vegas. I told Darby I'm going to be out for, pretty much the whole time AEW's out there starting next week.
You're coming the whole week?
Yeah, I'm coming the whole week, man. You're going to be there too, right?
Dude, I will be there. Yeah, I'll bring you some stuff. What size are you?
I'm a medium.
You're a medium? Okay.
These days. I used to be a small. but these
There you
days
go.
I'm medium. It's because all the
Well,
working out.
it is drinks with Johnny. You know, you got to get that beer weight on, man.
Well, you know, it's funny though. This is going to be the first time I'm in Vegas in my entire life. I'm going to be sober. I'm on the wagon these days for a little while.
Oh shit! Congrats.
Thanks, man. It's only a few weeks in right now, so you know I got some time. But I'm going to be. It's just a recalibration for me. I guess I've been overdoing it probably for the last 2 decades. So it's just kind of like this midlife recalibration, if you will. I was just on the phone with my therapist, and we were talking about how it just seems to be time to break the wall down, go down to the foundation, and rebuild for the remaining years I have on this planet, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's smart. Especially you got a family and everything. Was there like a moment or something that like set it off for you? Or is it kind of just a buildup of...
It was a buildup. It was obviously a buildup, but there was a straw that broke the camel's back with me and my wife, to be honest. And then it was a slap upside the head that I needed. I probably should have had it probably about 10 years ago. But, you know, now it's, you know, I can make up all the excuses in the world, right? But last 4 years have really been a struggle for me mentally, and that only exacerbated by the drinking. And I think getting my mind right over this however long I'm taking off is really going to be what I describe of that foundation of rebuilding and seeing what life is like on the other side, and how I can stick around for my son, really. I mean, unfortunately in our industry, we'll get to some Ghostemane stuff here in a second, we've been seeing a lot of people going way too soon, even very recently. And
a lot, yeah.
It's sad every time it happens, and I've experienced it firsthand. Also experienced it just through friends of the industry and stuff, and I'm fortunate enough to still be here, be one of the ones that is still here, and have a family and have things to look forward to. So it's time that I put on my big boy pants, so to speak, and figure this thing out. And so
especially the era you came from, like that's a whole other beast. I feel like, you know, like the touring then I feel like was nowhere near what we're doing. You know, that's a whole other animal.
I think we kind of created our own.
Yeah.
It wasn't quite the 80s, but we definitely, you know, we brought it back a little bit. I'll say that. You know, it was a little. we had our fun, but you know, and I still look fondly upon those memories. Right? I mean, there's nothing.
For sure.
You can't take them away, and I absolutely love what I do. I love drinking. I love having a good time. I don't think this is a life sentence for me yet, but it's definitely time to work what's going on between the ears out and move forward in life. And if anyone at home is watching this right now or listening to this and has some of those thoughts or feelings that like, hey, maybe it's time for a change. It doesn't have to be a permanent change in that respect. But it's got to be something moving forward in your life that you strive for. Just constantly working on yourself, and maybe sometimes taking a step back and just getting rid of everything for a while will help you appreciate and get into a better mindset. At least that's the goal for me. And if I could help inspire anyone on that, I'm here for it. So
yeah, that's awesome, man. That's hard to do. So I commend you, man.
I'm only 3 weeks in yet, so I mean, I'm not looking for congratulations or a pat on the back just yet. Speaking of though,
3 weeks is tough.
I am gonna pop a drink with you though, because
all right.
I found these non-alcoholic IPAs by Lagunitas.
Oh, Lagunitas.
Now they don't pay me yet, hopefully. But
they should.
Yeah, no, you know, I'm just a big fan of all of their products. I got to be honest. Their IPAs, just their standard IPA is a great, solid one you could find most places. The Walden.
I love the little something. The little something. I don't know if I haven't seen it in a while, but
it's seasonal. It's out right now.
Okay. Oh shit.
Little Something Ale is like their summer IPA, and it's fantastic. The Where's Waldo, if you haven't had that. Or maybe
I haven't had
that. It's the triple IPA. That one's hard to find.
You're a big IPA guy, right?
Oh, that's all I drink, man. Like honestly, like it sucks though, to be honest, because for my waistband, because I love IPA, I love beer so much, and I've going back to a light beer now or something that's not an IPA, anytime I drink it, I find myself going, why am I even drinking this? It's not.
Yeah, like what is it even doing?
What's it? Yeah, it's just, it doesn't taste good.
It doesn't taste anything.
So, I mean, at least I like the taste of this non-alcoholic. So, it's getting me through it,
That's good.
And
I got myself a little,
what do you
these
got?
are hard to find here in Georgia.
Modelo.
Mexican beer.
That's a bit, what is that, a 32 ouncer?
It was the only form they had of Mexican beer at the gas station. It's hard to find Mexican beer out here.
And from Santa Barbara, is that kind of been your go-to?
Yeah, any kind of Modelo, Tecate, Corona, any easy beach drinking. But then as I got older, then I was like, IPAs for sure. But then sometimes you have like 2 or 3 of those IPAs, especially with like microbreweries and shit, and it's just like you have a few and don't even remember the day. It's like, I don't know what they're putting in some of those things, but they be strong.
I've got my IPA still on tap. That
you still got it?
Four Sons, yeah.
Is that what you had last time? I tried one last time. I don't know what it was, but you had something on tap.
I'm trying to remember when were you? I don't think I'd made that yet. Actually, that was I hadn't collaborated with the Four Sons brewery here in Huntington Beach, so that was something else. So since
that was.
If I get my hands on some cans this in the next few days, when I see you next week, I'll bring some out for you.
That would rule. Thank you. Yeah,
man, of course. I love that beer. It's a stronger West Coast IPA. It's like 7.6%, but it drinks like a 6%. So it's a little dangerous. But I was
gonna say, what was it, like a one-time thing, or are you guys bringing it back, or?
We're bringing it back. I think it's gonna. Last May was when we launched it. We're in May right now, towards the end. So it's looking like we're a little behind this year. But I'm hoping next month we'll have another relaunch of it. But you could get. I mean, locally, you could still get it at a few restaurants and stuff off the keg. But we're only doing the cans annually at this point.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, man.
I just realized your hat too. You're a Raiders fan?
Absolutely.
Oh shit. Respect.
Well,
I'm a big Dolphins fan.
Oh no.
It's like that every year.
Yeah, I know.
It's like that every year.
You guys, it was so bizarre. Last season, going into last season, rather.
I thought it was gonna be the year for Miami.
Right?
I thought it was gonna be.
You guys finally made a run at the playoffs. Had the team going in the right direction under Flores, right? And then they just get rid of him. I was like, wait a minute, this is like the best season they've had in probably 20 years. And
it made no sense.
That was a very, there must have been, and everyone will speculate, of course, in the sports world, there must have been something going on behind the scenes between the front office and the coaching staff. That's the only explanation.
Yeah, you don't have a great season like that, and then just, the whole, all the players loved him, everything, and then just, can him like that. I don't know. It's a little too fishy.
So, what did you guys get a good draft pick this year? How are you guys looking?
No, we traded everything away to get Tyreek Hill from the Chiefs a few weeks before the draft. So
that's right.
It was a boring draft for me.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see Tua throwing to Tyreek, though. That'll be interesting.
I know. I hope he's got the arm strength. We'll see.
Well, I mean, he is the cheetah, so he's going to have to put it out there. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. No, it's going to be interesting. Yeah. Hopefully, this is the year.
Yeah.
I haven't been to playoffs in like 10 years, so
you got a real weapon out there. You've had a solid defense for the last probably 6-7 years. So the fact that they haven't put it together on the other side of the ball is beyond me, because the defense has been there for a while. But
literally, right when Marino left, there's just been quarterback disasters.
That's
for like the last 20 years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Tua was a pretty high pick, though, so hopefully he.
Yeah, so hopefully this is the year. Hopefully he changes that.
Yeah, as a Raiders fan, we've had our fair share of problems in the quarterback position, but I'm happy with Carr. I know he gets a lot of flack, but I think Carr is a great quarterback. I think a lot of people get down on him, and then you don't see how accurate he really is until you see the percentages of how he throws. And I'm like, guys, like, he's a really excellent quarterback. You got to look at the 2 times he's had some serious number one wideouts. I mean, Amari Cooper, his rookie year was awesome. because Derek Carr was throwing to him. And since then, you know, I no disrespect to Mari, but he hasn't been the same guy since, you know. So, I mean, that's one of those things where I think it shows a lot of his talent, and I'm excited. He's got the number one, in my opinion, in Devontae Adams to throw to this season.
Oh, geez, yeah.
So, and that's going to be coupled with Waller coming back healthy, hopefully.
It's gonna be nasty.
Yeah,
that's gonna be.
I mean,
have you been to the new stadium yet?
I haven't yet. Because the first season, obviously, no one was allowed in, and last season I just didn't get a chance to go out there. You
gotta go this year. Then.
I'm making it happen this year. Absolutely. I cannot wait for this season. Everyone, just stay fucking healthy. We'll be fine.
Yeah, right. Actually, I think Miami plays in Vegas this year. I could be wrong.
If that's the case, maybe we plan seeing that game together.
Yeah. No. Oh, yeah. Oh, if they're playing, we're going.
All right. I like it. Let's get. So as I said, we met through Darby Allin, and
yes.
When I think it was the first time he was on the show. He's been on a couple of times now. Mm-hmm. And he came in with Priscilla Kelly at the time, now Gigi Dolan in WWE. And you were there. And I wasn't very familiar at the time with who you are or what you do. And I come to find, I meet you as Nolan, and then I come to find out your pseudonym is, what is it?
Rake.
Rake, yeah. Rake. So where does this name, like what is it like for you being in Ghostemane? I listen to some of the music. It sounds like a rad industrial hip hop take of a newish Marilyn Manson. I mean, you could probably describe it better as one of the creators of the music, but
no, that's a great way to describe it. Yeah, it's like 9 Inch Nails and 3 6 Mafia meet or something. You know, that's always the hardest question when people always ask me, like, what genre? It's like, I don't know. Like, you got to listen to it. You know, it's a mix of a bunch of things, but it's weird how it started. So Eric's always been Ghostemane since he's been doing this project for a long, long time. And I was working for another band doing merch, a band called Nothing. And I was doing merch for them, and it was the LA show. And this is back in 2017, 2018. Anyways, my buddy Sherwin comes up to the merch table, and he was like, yo, what do you got going after this? And at that time, I was just hopping around doing merch gigs for different bands. And I was like, actually, I don't have a tour planned up. You know, I got nothing. Like, he's like, oh, I actually just started managing this guy named Ghostemane. I'm actually going to need some help, I think, on this tour. Just stage manager. Because at the time, it was just him and the DJ and the live drummer. So he was like, yeah, you know, like, if you want to, you know, do this, be a roadie. And I'm like, oh, yeah, for sure. And I had heard of Ghostemane before. And so yeah, I got hired on to just be stage manager, you know, just set up the drums, set up the DJ kit, real easy stuff. And after that first tour with Eric, he was like, yo, I want to like, cause he's a hardcore metal kid. He's like, yo, I want to add guitars and I want bass. I want like a full live band when I play. And I'm like, yo, will you ever do that? I play bass, so let me know. And so he kind of toyed with the idea for a bit, you know, having a live band. And so during that first tour with him, before I was playing bass, I would just, you know, run in the rafters and like, you know, just do flips off the fucking balcony or whatever. I was a little madman, and I would just, and I had this like Halloween mask we got on tour. I would just throw it on, and for like 3 songs during the set, like when I wasn't like on the stage watching the amps or whatever, I would just, you know, be this little like hype man almost. And that's when Eric was like, yo, you're like this little Rake guy. Like, he just came up with the name. And so then fast forward, once he was like, yo, I want to actually do this live band, you know, are you down to play bass? I was like, oh, of course. And then he's like, I think it'd be cool if you like, you know, wear a mask, like how like the Halloween mask you would wear. It was just like a, you know, like a cheap, you know, Rite Aid Halloween mask. Mm-hmm. He's like, you know, maybe if you got like a real one made, like, you know, like you designed it. So that's where the mask thing came from. And then that's kind of how that started, me getting into Ghostemane. And then from then, you know, he's been fortunate enough to let me play on the albums. because at the end of the day, like it's been his brainchild. So like he doesn't need to have these other people play on the albums or even live. Like he can just have a DJ press play and he's still gonna sell out shows. Kids are still gonna come see him. So it's really cool that like on the last few records, like, you know, he lets me write songs, like he lets me play on, you know, it's really cool because he doesn't need to do that. So I don't know, it makes me actually feel like part of it, you know, not just like, oh, I'm just like, you know, just a fill-in or just, you know, some jobber. It's cool. I'm super thankful for him.
Dude, you covered a lot right there. I just want to.
Sorry, that was a lot.
No. Hey, for a first timer on a podcast, you just nailed it right there, brother. There was a couple interesting things I want to go back to in that though. Let's start with the stunts, man. This makes a lot of sense on why you would befriend Darby. As he's famous for his stunts in and out of the ring, I'll say. And obviously the skateboarding aspect and stuff. Is that something that you grew up with as well? Or was it literally like you just felt like doing it when you were roadieing for Ghostemane?
It's kind of a mix of both. It's funny, if Darby right here, he'd be laughing his ass off because I'm like very fragile. Like I love doing the shit, but like I'm always getting hurt. Like I snapped my arm like 3 months ago. I got 2 plates in. I still have a broken nose I haven't fixed from like a year ago. I'm always getting hurt, but I love it.
Well, real quick, I got to interrupt you there real quick because Darby I did ask him if there was anything I should say to you while I had you on the air, and that kind of perfectly segues into him saying, you got to tell him to not be a bitch anymore.
Yeah, I think these few years of taking time off on the road kind of made me a little scared. but yeah, no, I don't know. I think it kind of kicked more in. I don't know, like growing up, just being like, you know, punk and hardcore kid. You know, you're just like used to getting broken noses and, you know, just jumping off shit. And, you know, it's just kind of just always been in me. And like, I'm from Santa Barbara, and at the time, there was a really good like punk hardcore scene, like when I was in middle school and high school. And I don't know, so I kind of just always had that in me. Never been good at skating until recently. I've been trying to dabble at it. Now, I'm with Darby, and we go to all these cool parks. I'm like, I might as well start to learn and, you know, do some stuff on the board. But yeah, he's the main madman. It only kicks in for me when I'm on stage, really, I guess.
Okay. Are you picking up anything from Darby on the skate aspect then? Because I've seen him skate. I think a lot of people have at this point. He's pretty fucking good out there in the bowl. How are you trying to pick up anything from him? Is he giving you any pointers?
Yeah, I don't think people actually realize like how good he is at skating, and also like how like passionate he is. Like I'll be out there filming the same freaking trick for, you know, 20 minutes, and he's just like, God, you know, he's like very into it. And I don't think people get that. They think it's almost like a gimmick sometimes, like, oh, you just skate to the ring or whatever. It's like, no, this dude like lives and breathes skating. At the end of the day, he'd probably 100% choose skating over wrestling. Like he had to choose one, you know, like that's his thing. So yeah, I mean, he's trying to get me to drop in, and but he's teaching me how to rock the fakie, just little basic moves, but he's helping me a lot. Like there's a lot of shit like without Darby I wouldn't see myself doing. Just he really just kind of puts you in your out of your comfort zone, right, a lot, which is cool.
Yeah. Yeah,
I've never had a friend who's done that before. So
I don't think anyone's had a friend like Darby. Let's just put it that way. He's one of a kind, man. Let's get back to a little bit of Ghostemane, though. You mentioned the mask. You've stepped up the mask, obviously, now from the Rite Aid purchase.
Yes.
Who designed this mask for you, and can you tell me a little bit about it?
Yeah, I got one right here. One of them. So this girl Lainey. She makes masks for Slipknot and mainly Slipknot. She makes them for some other people, but yeah, Eric knew her at the time and was like, "Hey, I know this girl who can make masks. Talk to her." And so I started talking to her, and she, you know, of course, she was like, "What do you want it to look like?" And I'm like, "I don't know." Like, I was like, I kind of picturing like if you took off like Jason's mask, like what would it look like? You know, just some like deformed, you know, fucked up face. So she did some molds with it and backtrack. the worst part ever, like, which sucks because her house burned down later, so she ended up losing my mold. But to get life casted, like the mold over your face I'm not claustrophobic at all, but that was the worst, like 30 minutes of my life.
It takes 30 minutes?
30 minutes. So they put all this stuff over you, and the only way you could breathe is, there's two girls doing it. The main girl who's like molding it, and then the other girl who's pretty much your life is in her hands. She has two little like popsicle sticks in your nose, and all this goo is just going over you, and she's just basically getting the goo out of your nose because that's your only air hole, because it's covering your mouth, your eyes, your ears. And so for 30 minutes, and you can hear, but it's, just, it's hard to hear, but she's like, if you can't breathe, like, wave your hands. And of course, my allergies, I start getting all stuffed up, and I'm like waving my hand. I'm like, I can't fucking breathe. So she's like, all right, the count of 3, blow out as hard as you can. Like, so I'm just like, she's like, 1, 2, 3, and I just blew. And of course I can't see anything. And she's like, oh my God, like the biggest like chunk of that like mold mass started like hardening up in my nose and like blocking my breathing. So thank God, like, blew it out. But yeah, that was horrible. But yeah, her house ended up catching on fire, and she lost all of her molds. So if I ever want a new mask, I gotta go through that process again. So I'm kind of bummed about that.
Yeah, that sounds awful. I was just thinking in my head, I'm like, but is it really even worth it then? Like, fuck, man.
Yeah, we actually, well, it's funny you say that. It comes out tomorrow, actually. We did a commercial for Fender. They have a new bass and guitar coming out, so they asked us to be like the face of it. Yeah, I'm super stoked. So that comes out tomorrow. But for that, Eric was like, "Yo, do you want a new mask? Like what do you want to do?" And I'm like, I got long hair. Let's just do my normal face. You know what I mean? Like, so I think it might be a new era where I might just be no more mask.
Oh, you're stepping out of the mask era. Huh?
I don't know. I like it, but then
it's got to be a pain in the ass. Yeah, I got to say.
I got all my drinks on the side of stage, like my beer and water. They all have straws in them. Cause that's like, I can't take off the mask like midway to drink, So I don't know. We'll see. I still haven't decided yet.
Yeah.
But
no, I mean,
tomorrow's fans will see my face for the first time, like Ghostemane fans, I guess. So.
Yeah, and then right after that, they'll see your face right here on Drinks with Johnny. So that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Things are happening, Nolan. Things are happening.
I'm stoked.
That's really cool, though. So, what can you tell me a little bit about this? More specifically, the bass and the guitar that Fender are putting out. Is there? And why they chose you guys to be the face of this?
Yeah, it started with Eric, who's Ghostemane, started talking to Fender about making himself a custom bass, and that idea started, and then somehow it turned into, well, we actually have like a whole new, because that takes like years. There's like a whole like wait list of like signature guitars, for Fender to make. So it would be like 5 years until that would come out. So Eric's like, no, let's scrap that. So Fender was like, well, we have this bass and this guitar coming out, and we were thinking, what if we use, you guys as like the campaign of it. But it's kind of funny because the bass is like baby blue. It's not really even like on color brand of us, but and it's also too. It's called the Fender. They've already posted photos of it because it came out like this month. It's called the Fender Meteora, but I'm not a big active bass guy. I don't know if you are, but it takes 2 freaking 9 volts to power the thing. But it's a beast. It sounds awesome. The guitar is the same exact thing, just 2 active humbucker pickups. It's cool. It sounded cool. They chose like 3 bands to do it. I think kind of to different range. It was us, this band called Japanese Breakfast, and this band called Portugal the Man.
Okay, I'm familiar with Portugal the Man. Not familiar with the other one.
All different sounding. So I think that was our whole point: just get everybody in the different fields.
Kind of show the spectrum of what the instrument can do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm a Fender head, like not just biased, but like I've been Fender head since like my first bass.
Are you a P or jazz guy?
I'm a P.
Okay. Awesome, man. So how does the neck feel? I mean, I know a lot of the vintage Ps, and I mean, kind of just the Ps all over, kind of have a tree trunk for a neck there. And if you're not used to it, it could take some getting used to. How's the neck on this new bass that you've been playing?
This was cool. So the Meteora, it's like a hybrid. I don't even know what. It's not a Peora Jazz. It's some weird. It's like one of their weird shaped things. But for Ghostemane though, I usually use a P bass. And like it's funny you say that too, because like I like the big necks, but I don't have big hands. But I like I like a big fat neck. Like
I do too. Comfy. I like it fat along the face, but I kind of like it to have a shallower back than a lot of the P basses that I've played, especially because I like the vintage P basses. Like that, I've used those occasionally on some tracking and stuff. But it does, even with a smaller hand. Like my hands aren't long; they're just kind of stubby. But like,
same.
But like, I just like being able to hold. It feels like I'm holding like the other end of a fucking bat or something. That feels pretty cool. That. I don't know. It's what's comfortable for me.
Yeah. What's your go-to like on tour and everything?
Oh, I have my own signature with Schecter guitars.
Oh shit.
So I've had that for a few years now. Hey, everyone can get it at drinkswithjohnny.com.
Damn, that's sick. I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, it was amazing. I was able to, whenever we started, I can't remember how long ago now. I was always playing Music Man, Ernie Ball Music Mans. Love that bass. I love the way that humbucker. I think it's amazing the way that those basses sound.
I've yet to ever play one.
Oh, you gotta.
I know. I need
yourself.
to
Treat yourself.
I know. I might have to do that.
Get a good classic Stingray. It's a nice, perfect, clean sound. I love those basses. Loved everyone I was working with over there for the years. They'd do a lot of custom paint jobs for me, but when it came time, I wanted to design my own thing and put it out on the market. And at the time, they were not doing that. So I went over to Schecter. They were awesome. We designed the bass from the ground up, literally. Picked out the wood, picked out the shape, shaped it several different times. I went through a bunch of different pickups. What I really wanted to do was combine the sound of a classic Stingray with a classic Rickenbacker. So you would have that nice, clean, round body of the Music Man and some of that growl and rasp of a Rickenbacker. Now, I couldn't just go ahead and grab a Music Man humbucker and a Rickenbacker pickup and throw it on there. So we tried out several different pickups. What we ended up with was a EMG humbucker active and a guitar pickup, an EMG 81 for the bridge.
Weird.
Yeah, and it was so funny because we tried so many different bass pickups to get that growl. And one of the guys in the warehouse was like, "There's one thing we haven't tried," and he threw a guitar pickup in there, and I was like, "That's it. That's
the one.
That's it." It brought out those midtones. That's
crazy how that works.
And then I just put a blend knob on it, so depending on the song, you can blend it in a little bit more, a little less, whatever you want to do. And I've been using that bass for a few albums. I think we did that right before the Hail to the King record. I think that was the first record I used it on. And then
that's a dream, just designing your own bass, like and actually being like hands on with it too, you know, like
I was going up there every other day, going up to the warehouse here in LA, and it was a really fun process too, to be honest. And I was just really happy that I got something that works for me, and then I was able to give it out to a few other friends and stuff, and for them to try. And I got a few friends that still come back to me these days and say, like, I just used it on a song in the studio because it's versatility. I was like, fuck yeah, man, that's what I was.
Damn, that's so cool.
Yeah, and,
that's badass. Do you have one at your house? I gotta play around with it next time I come over.
Yeah, dude, next time you're around, yeah. Absolutely.
Next time I'm over, I'm shredding on that thing.
Hell yeah, we should jam. I don't know why we haven't yet. You've been over to the house like a couple times now. We haven't even talked bass at all.
I know. I was gonna say this is the first time we like talked gear. Like I've been with you a few times. Like.
Yeah. Let's go down this rabbit hole a little bit more though. You said you've always been a Fender guy. What were some of your inspirations in your early stuff with the bass guitar and your journey with music?
Oh man. I mean, it's kind of cliche, but I was. Like the first songs I learned on bass were like Green Day songs, like Chili Pepper songs, like those were like the bass players, like in junior high, 5th, 6th grade, I was like, these dudes are shredding on the bass, like, especially like with punk music and, like SoCal punk, it's, you know, bass players like shred. They use a pick. Like, it's not, you know, none of this finger shit. Like, it's, I don't know. That was just a real turn on for me. And that plus two, I remember, I don't think I've ever really talked about this, but that's why I picked up the bass, because my buddies had a Green Day cover band and they only had a guitar and drums, and they were like, yo, we need a bass. And I remember I had like $200 saved up, and I bought like the little combo, like Fender, like, you know, starter pack comes like with a mini amp.
The one that's like in a box, like
the one, yes,
yeah, I know
yes.
exactly what you're talking
about. The cable, the tuner, everything.
Got that's a fantastic buy for any like parents out there that are looking to buy something, man. Like, that's a great starting kit right there.
It really is. It's not like, I don't know, because sometimes like Darby's always laughing, and he's always telling people, like, because parents are always coming up to Darby like at Comic-Cons or something, and they're being like, oh, what skateboard should I get my son at the Target or whatever? He's like, no, like, spend good money, buy them like a good skateboard. Like a Walmart skateboard won't work.
Right.
But in this case, like a box set thing.
Well, a box set though. Let's clarify though. We're not talking about the box set from the Target or Walmart. Still go to Guitar Center or Sam Ash or whatever local store you got.
The Fender or the Squier box set or the Gibson one, whatever one they got.
Still the name brand. You're not.
Yeah, still the name brand. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, you don't get the bootleg one.
Right.
But yeah, I think that's how, I mean, that's how I started playing the bass. And then, and played in a bunch of different, like, random rock bands in high school. And then this first serious band I really started playing in, which is how I met a lot of these people that I know in Ghostemane now, were called Souvenirs. And it was like some, like, I don't know, like 90s emo rock, like Sunny Day Real Estate kind of Jawbreaker kind of vibe.
Right. I had one of those.
But yeah. So that's kind of where it started at, like that, and then it progressed into, you know, all this other shit.
So you said, growing up in Santa Barbara, I love that you mentioned the style of bass that we grew up on, because you just fucking nailed it. A lot of times, you know, now that you've been traveling and stuff, people ask you, and you try and think about, like, why did I start playing bass with a pick? And you just fucking nailed it. All the local bass heroes here playing in SoCal punk bands. That was it. That was it. I mean, for me, it was Matt Freeman, and then, you know,
dude, seriously.
Yeah, I mean, like just the best fucking punk bassist, or Fat Mike for that matter. Like, he's an underrated bassist because you think of him as the lyricist and songwriter and everything like that, which he is. But he's also a fucking hell of a bass player too. And you know, the list goes on, and then, you know, then you have some bands like Joe from Lagwagon is using his fingers, and that's when I found out later, like guys from the Descendants, like all these other bands that were using their fingers, and you know, then Suicidal and stuff. You see bassists like Robert Trujillo, and you're like,
dude, I know, dude, that dude, I can watch that.
I was like, wait a minute, okay. So I started with a pick, but then I realized that there's more you can do, and I still go back to the pick for some certain things, but like that control that you can have. Are you
mainly fingers now?
Yeah, mainly fingers at this point, but I still, when a song calls for it, when you want that some of that precision, I guess, for lack of better terms, I think you can still get plenty of precision with your fingers, but I think that there's something to be said for some of the picking sounds that are still, like, especially if you're gonna go play some fucking punk, man, some SoCal punk, you gotta.
Yeah, right. You need to, like,
it just sounds better.
Noodle around and shit. Like, yeah.
Yeah, man. I couldn't agree with you more, man. I think you absolutely nailed it. So, as we're going into it more into the music and stuff, you said did you say that you met Ghostemane while you were doing that merch gig?
Yeah, his manager, Sherwin.
His manager, okay.
Who I've known. He also managed Little Peep. He's also a band called Power Trip. That's how I met him. My old band Souvenirs was on tour, and we stayed at Riley, rest in peace, Riley and Sherwin's house for the band Power Trip, and that was in like 2010, and that's where I met this guy Sherwin. And fast forward 10 years later, he's managing Ghostemane, and yeah, he came up to me at a show, and was like, "Hey, yo, can you help me, you know, do production for this guy Ghostemane I just started managing?"
So what was So if that's the first introduction into the camp, how was your first introduction with Eric and Ghostemane? You know, like just what was your first impression of him, and why are you not living at his house but you're living at Darby Allin's house now?
Well, so it's funny. I was this close to not going on that tour, which means I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be in Ghostemane. I wouldn't know Darby. So for that first tour, we set up this like mausoleum, like this big, huge like stage prop thing. And that was a huge part of why they wanted me on the tour, because they, you know, stage manage / build this big thing every night. So we get to my first day meeting Eric, and we get to the, you know, the rehearsal place in LA, and there's a semi there dropping off the big mausoleum thing. And mind you, this thing was supposed to be foam. Like, it was supposed to be a foam thing, one-man job. The fabrication company made it out of like real metal and like really heavy wood. It was like a 6-person job. So that first day was kind of chaotic that I met Eric, because, you know, it was kind of a fluster. Like they fucked up the order. This thing's supposed to be foam. We leave for tour in 2 days. Like, we can't fit this in the trailer. And then, you know, then I'm literally there and I'm like, hi, I'm Nolan, you know, and he's like, Eric's like, who's this guy? Like, and Sherwin's like, oh, this is Nolan. Like, we need him to build this thing every night. And at the time, well, even still, Eric's very like, same with Darby. They keep their camp small. Like, they don't want to add new people in. So he was like kind of standoffish on like, do we really need this guy? Like, who is this guy? So up until like the day before the tour, management was still on the fence. Like, should we just leave this big stage thing and not even bring it? Which means I don't go if they do that. So they ended up agreeing and being like, you know what? Let's leave the stage thing, but we'll bring Nolan. So thank God they did. And then they ended up changing their mind. We ended up bringing the stage thing after all. So everything ended up going. But yeah, first day meeting him was that day. So it was a little chaotic. But then after that, cool. We just clicked. I think he's there. Like I was just saying, him and Darby are so similar. I think that's why like I vibe with both of them so well. They're like, I don't know. They're like some of the most caring people, but like I said, they keep their circle real small. And so to get like let in, you know, it was cool. I don't know. He was real cool. Like I think once we started vibing, then, you know, it was good from there. But yeah, that first day was I was a little nervous. I was like, I'm not going on this tour. Like, there's no way. This guy does not like me or something. But no, it was
ended
great.
up working out. Well, I look forward to meeting him one day. And
oh yeah, no, you will. Next time we play in LA, if we ever play LA again, you got to come.
I would absolutely love that, man. So
I got to get you.
I did notice that you used the term jobber earlier in this podcast. And that's obviously an inside term for some wrestling fans and wrestling world. And we've talked a little bit about Darby Allin and our mutual friend there, and how we met. And I just was curious for you, where did you start watching wrestling from? When did your fandom for professional wrestling start?
Little. It was WCW. I remember the first thing I ever saw, it was like Sting. Like, literally, it's cliche as it sounds, like Sting was I remember seeing a dude with face paint on TV.
Well, that's going to come full circle in a second, right?
Yeah, and I remember being like, what is this? So that's, and then, you know, Attitude Era. So, you know, I was watching a lot of Raw, WCW. First
Monday
match I ever went to. Well, yeah, exactly. First match I went to was house show at the Forum in like 98 or 97. Like, the main event was like Sting versus Hogan. But yeah, Sting was also my first match I ever saw live in person. But that's where it clicked. So like I was born in 91, so yeah, I was probably like 6 years old, something like that, when first got into it. And then ever since then, it's just been off to the races.
So your first era was the Attitude and Monday Night War era.
Yeah, everything prior, I didn't know anything about.
That is the best. I mean, that's still my favorite era. I grew up a little earlier. My first stuff was the late 80s, early 90s, which was still great for different reasons. But to me, that's when the storylines really started to take shape, is that mid to late 90s era that was just straight fucking fire. And you mentioned Sting in there. I mean, his reinvention of himself right there. And I mean, to your point, today he's still that Sting. He's not going back to the Venice Beach Sting, surfer Sting. You know, everyone loves him for the Crow Sting, as they call it, quote unquote, the Crow Sting. And I grew up watching him through both eras. I mean, he was the Hogan for WCW. He was the answer to Hogan, and then later Hogan comes over to WCW. It's like it was such a cool time to be watching wrestling.
No, it really was. And I didn't even know. That just goes to show you. It wasn't until I was like, high school maybe that I found out there was even Surfer Sting. Yeah. Because all I knew was Crow Sting. I'm like, wait, who is this? Who is this guy? Like, this is Sting.
The ultimate baby face. All of his matches with Ric Flair and Vader, they were just some of the most epic matches ever in WCW. And I had the fortunate position of being able to watch both, which was pretty rare. I'm surprised you got it in Santa Barbara as well. How were you able to watch the Turner networks? Because you were a little bit later.
My mom had one of those cable boxes, like the little illegal ones, the little black.
I was gonna say, but that was a little bit later. So during the Surfer Sting era, that was the early '90s. It was pretty difficult to get the Turner networks out here to watch WCW. Okay. I would have to go over to my grandmother's house and grandfather's, and they were huge baseball fans. Now, Turner owns the Braves, so they wanted to make sure they got those games, so they bought the package for it. That was the only way I was able to see it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was you younger guys, you had it all.
I'm always telling it's funny. Same thing like with music. Like I'm the oldest of 5, and my youngest siblings are like still in high school and middle school right now. Jesus. And it's just so funny because I was trying to tell them, try to explain what LimeWire and Napster was to them, and how music used to not just be free. Like you used to have to do digging for songs, and that just blew their mind. They couldn't comprehend that was even
siblings.
The thing.
Even your siblings, you're blowing your minds with that. That's just God. I guess I really am almost 40, man. This is making me feel bad. You're just describing so much, but it's also awesome though. I'm starting to befriend the nostalgia of those facts of just they didn't get that, but I did. So I get to share that experience with them through storytelling and stuff, my son and stuff. What is a CD? What is a tape cassette? What is a VHS? What is a DVD? All these wonderful things that he'll never know or care about. And I'm just going to be that guy on the couch telling that story. But
dude, that's the best part about being a dad. I feel like you get to show him all this cool shit that,
yeah, that you don't care about. He'll be like, that's nice, Dad.
Probably won't.
Until he gets to be about my age and I'm fucking 60, then he's going to care. And I'm going to be like, well, now I don't care. It's very Cats in the Cradle how it goes.
No, you're so right.
But going back to the full circle of Sting, I think it was the last time we crossed paths is when Darby and Sting decided to fly out to use my Cadillac for one of the pay-per-views last year. As people at home may or may not know, Darby Allin loves to do his cinematic entrances, especially at the pay-per-views, and film really cool montages, and Noland has always helped out with that. Sting and Darby flew out all the way to California to borrow my one car. I'm like, you probably could have rented one somewhere else, but flattered. And, it came out, we filmed. Well, I got to speak with you a little bit while they were running up and down the track with the car. I got to meet Sting. I mean, I was like, you want to borrow my car and Sting's going to drive it? Cool. Go for it.
Go for it. Yeah.
I grew up fucking watching this dude.
That day was crazy. That was so surreal. It had to be even more surreal for you just watching him drive your car.
Oh, it was, not only did he drive it, he fucked up my brakes. I can't wait to see him in Vegas and talk some shit to him about it.
Yeah, right, yeah.
He put on the emergency brake that of course it was Sting that did it, this large man, strong dude. Because I can't push that emergency brake down. That's why I never use it. He found a way to push it down. I had to find a way to release it, and it didn't release all the way because it had never been pushed down. To this day, I'm still having problems getting the parts and reworking the brakes right now, so I can't wait to see him in Vegas next week and talk to him about it. And the moment where I put my foot in my mouth, I played it cool the whole time until the end, and I put my foot in my mouth. We'll talk about that when we'll talk about that when we have Sting on the podcast.
Yeah. You gotta get Sting on here.
Oh, absolutely.
That day was I had met Sting. That day was cool because I had met Sting at the cinematic tapings when they filmed the first ever cinematic match with Darby versus Brian Cage and Ricky.
God, that was such a cool thing. That was such a cool thing.
That was so cool. And I met him then, but it was real like brief. And he was so new, to the company then, and it was just like a hi, how's it going? That was it. But so the second time I saw him was when I was with you, and that was like totally different. He was like one of the bros, just like chilling with us, cracking jokes. Like that was like the first day where it's like, damn, like Sting is the fucking man. Like he is so cool.
Yeah, my brief interaction with him, or that interaction that day, was fucking awesome. He was, very cool. He introduced himself, at my house, and I was like, on my driveway, I'm shaking hands with Sting, and I'm like,
right,
play cool,
like,
man. He's at my house.
Yeah.
He's at my fucking house. It was really cool. I mean, it was not to get too far off topic, but it's one of the cool things about befriending Darby too is my son is a huge Darby Allin fan now, and he watches. I mean, the first match he watched a pay-per-view against Brian Cage, Darby lost, and my son started crying. He didn't understand.
Yes.
And then
that's great.
Flash forward. Darby's the TNT champion last time he comes by the house. Obviously, he brings the belt with him. My son gets to talk to one of his heroes that he watches on TV and hold the belt, take pictures with him in the belt. I'm like, he doesn't.
No
get
money
it
can
yet.
buy that.
No, no. I'm like,
like,
he doesn't get it yet, but like, because he just turned 5 this year. Later on in life, he's gonna be able to. It'd be like you or I, or like I guess for me, my era would have at that age would have been like Bret the Hitman Hart coming over to my house with the Intercontinental title. Like that's
right.
That's fucking insane, right?
he'll appreciate it in a few years. He will definitely. Well, on that note, yeah, like you're saying, like like there's so much cool shit I've done with him that like money can't buy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like even just going to tapings, being backstage, like everyone who's backstage, like is like works for the company, is a wrestler, has a position. Like I'm like one of the only dudes who's like, like just not just back there, but it's like money can't really buy that. Like just being in there in Sting's locker room with like Darby and him, chilling while they're doing their makeup, like that shit's like that stays with me, and it's cool too because when this was before Sting was coming or anything, but Darby's known I'm like diehard Sting fan, like that's like my hero, and so I told him once, I'm like, if Sting ever comes to AEW, like you got to make sure I'm there, like for his debut or whatever. So that was like, I don't know, months before Sting ever came. So fast forward, I wasn't living here in Atlanta yet. I was living in California in LA, and it's like 2 days before a random Dynamite in December. And he's like, yo, come out to this Dynamite on Wednesday. And I'm like, why? He was like, it's gonna be a good show. I'm like, okay, but like that's gonna be like $700 tickets on 2 days notice. You know what I mean? Like it's not gonna be that good of a show. Watch on TV. He's like, dude, just come. Like you gotta come. He literally like called me. He was like, dude, just come to the show. Come on. Like it's gonna be so sick. It's gonna be a fun week, And I was like, all right, whatever. Bit the bullet, bought the tickets. That was when the show Sting came out. And it was so cool because he made sure I was there. He didn't tell me, like, because if he would have told me, I still would have geeked out. But like he let me, like, I have a video of it. Like when Sting walks out, I'm like, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it now. Yeah, I like freak the fuck out. I'm so, and
just
like
let you
like
be a
that.
real
Like,
fan about it and see it for the first time too. That's cool.
Yeah, like that was so cool. Like so cool.
Darby's cool like that, man. It's been very fortunate that our paths have crossed, and yours as well. Befriending you.
Yeah, likewise.
It's been awesome. I mean, this episode's going to drop probably Monday, Memorial Day, right after the pay-per-view that you and I will be attending.
Cool.
It's gonna be a hell of a one. I'm already loving the matches setting up. The Owen Hart finale, the Owen Hart tournament finale is coming.
Oh,
up.
I know. I can't wait.
Dude, I mean, even last night, like, I wasn't sure if Darby was even going to be on the show last night. I obviously, did you watch it, or did you just wait for him to come home and tell you all about it?
No, I watched some of the show last night. I saw his part. They fucked Sting up.
Dude, they fucking hit him with those super kicks right there, man. I was like, I thought it was gonna be classic Sting cleaning house. Next thing I know, he gets hit with a couple of super kicks, man. And that was one of the rare times when I love this. I don't know if it was planned. I got to imagine it was, but I love when wrestling the live aspect, and they're like, we're out of time, and then it went to Family Guy. I was like, oh, that's fucking sick. Like, I love when that kind of shit happens.
It's like what's happening next? Like a bunch of suspense. Like, no, I feel that.
That's an old 90s tactic. I haven't seen it used in a long time. A lot of times they'll like, the guys will still be standing in the ring, but you know, it's like kind of everything's stopped, but like these guys were still in the ring on the floor too. Like, how do you, they got to clean that up, you know, like what the fuck's going on here? Yeah.
No, it's cool. It's cool when they do that.
How, speaking on wrestling in AEW, how rad was it to see Darby Allin go against Jeff Hardy 2 weeks ago?
Oh, great. That's like crazy. I mean, the match itself was insane, but even just like, I don't know, it's surreal. It's just like watching him and Sting team. It's like, it still blows my mind. I'm like, you're facing Jeff Hardy? Like, you know, like you're doing fucking swantons off the fucking ladder. Like you're like,
off the ladder onto the chairs. I got to talk to Darby about that because I don't know how he didn't seriously fuck himself up on that one. Because that was like, because it even like, it was even, I'm looking at the other camera here. It was even a little botched. You could tell it was a little botched. So I'm like, how the hell did he not fuck himself up on that?
I don't know. He doesn't even like, he doesn't take meds. You know, he's sober and shit. But like, He doesn't take like even Advil. Like, he just texted me like 10 minutes ago. He's like, I'm stopping at the massage parlor. So that's like that's his therapy right there, is getting a massage.
That's insane, man. Yeah, it's
crazy.
It's actually insane. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you this next week. I already talked to Darby. We got our house out there. It's not too far from the Mandalay Bay, so I hope you guys come over. House? Yeah, I got a house because I'm going to be filming with some of the other guys on the roster. So you guys come on over. Maybe we'll film some wild shit again, do some trivia games like we always do when we get together. I don't know what that will happen.
You got a taser or anything?
Maybe I'll bring it. Maybe I'll bring it this time. I don't know.
You met Kentucky, right?
Oh yeah. Oh dude, he met Kentucky. I am the biggest Kentucky fan. He drove said car before Sting did. I was told to ask you from Darby, what is your favorite Kentucky story?
Oh shit. This this one. So Kentucky Josh. So Kentucky was like, hey, I need to make some extra money. I think I'm gonna, make some flyers to mow some people's lawns. And I'm like, all right, cool. So he makes up the flyer and sends them out to like a bunch of different mailboxes around, neighbors and stuff. And then after, I'm like, what does the flyer look like? So he sends me a photo of the flyer. And first off, it's like, picture of like a dude mowing the lawn. It says, mow your lawn. And it doesn't even have a phone number. It just says his email, which is gingerkid123, like at AOL.com.
He has an AOL.
And it doesn't even say, it's the best part though. It says law mowing, not lawn, but LAW.
You forgot the N.
Forgot the N. And so, of course, like that whole week, we're like, have you got hit up yet to mow anyone's lawn? And he's like, no, not yet. And we're like, well, fucking wonder why. It says law mowing on it. Also, doesn't even have a phone number. It says Ginger Kid, like AOL email.
AOL. That looks like the fakest thing in the world. There's no way no one's using that.
There's so many though. Like that's just one. But yeah, he's a character. But anyways, about Kentucky, it's like 2 days ago or a couple days ago, we had a bunch of the Thrasher dudes over here. They're like interviewing Darby and filming some skate stuff. It was a good time. And anyways, downstairs in Kentucky's room, we did a little like taste test blindfold thing where he had like guessed the taste of these sodas. And so while he's blindfolded, we threw a flash grenade in there, like an actual military flashbang grenade, and closed the door. And just went boosh and opened it up. And he was like, ears are all ringing, and he's always getting messed with. He's a good sport though about it. But there's always something you guys
are getting messed with, man. I don't know why you volunteered to live in that house.
I feel like I'm always getting. I get it the least. So I feel like once they start filming the show here, I'm going to be getting it a lot more.
Oh, I'm excited about this. By the way, Darby did tell me that.
Yeah, he'll tell you all more about that. Yeah,
I can't wait to see him and talk a little bit more about that. The show that he's been working on since I met him.
Forever.
He's wanted his brainchild to go through, and he's going to be. You guys included. He's going to be great at it, man. You guys, from day one, fucking just a star in everything he does, everything you guys do. Speaking of everything you guys do, last little plug here, Ghostemane. What last album was a little while ago.
Yeah.
You guys working on something new? You got any tours coming up?
Yeah, we're always, he's always working on stuff, and then, sending us shit and whatnot. So we're always working on shit. But we're only doing festivals this year. We got like 7 or 8. 2 of them are in the States. The rest are overseas. The first one back is Knotfest, July 29th in Germany. So yeah, we're just doing a few. We had a huge Russia-Ukraine tour planned, but the war kind of threw a wrench.
Well, yeah, that's I think you're gonna have to postpone that one.
So we had to scrap a lot of shit in the fall. So I think we're just gonna stick with these few fests for now, and then next year, hopefully, get back to it strong.
Right on, man. Well, I hope to see some of that very soon. Lastly, though, you brought up shows, and it totally sparked something that I saw. You guys did like a Juggalo festival or something like that recently, right?
Yeah, we played. It was a couple years ago, before the pandemic. But we played the gathering of the Juggalos.
You guys played that, the Gathering of the Juggalos. Okay, and then that special came out and everything. Wow.
Yes, that was easily the craziest show I think we will ever play. Like, it's funny, those fans are so insane. Like, the more shit they throw at you, like, the more they like the better. Like, if they don't fuck with you, like, they just boo you and or just don't even watch you. But if they fuck with you, they're throwing all their Faygo, their beer, their fireworks. Like,
Jesus.
So it was a messy show. And at one point the stage caught on fire because they're literally shooting like fireworks at the stage. And Gwar played the night before, so the whole floor was carpet. So and they kept the carpet. So all these fucking fireworks were hitting the carpet, causing all these mini little fires on stage. And it was.
Did you guys just have hands over there with fire extinguishers, putting them out like every 2 seconds, or what?
We did. We had a couple hands fire extinguishers. It was chaotic too. We had like a couple dominatrixes with these sub dudes eating like food out of dog bowls, and it was a crazy.
Dude, I think we could do a full follow-up episode on just this day, and I think that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to do a follow-up Thirsty Thursday podcast with you, probably while we're out in Vegas here in a second. I just want to talk about the Gathering of the Juggalos, and we will. We're going to dive a little deeper into that. I'll see you next week, Nolan. Thanks for doing the show.
Thank you very much,
Go
Johnny.
check out some more Ghostemane and some of the work he's done with Darby Allin. Hoodlum, I'm going to be wearing some of that shit hopefully soon, so go check out some more.
Thank you for having me, Johnny.
All right, brother.
Thank you, guys.
We'll see you soon. Cheers.
Later.
That's going to do it for this week's episode of Drinks with Johnny. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, man, I just got to it at the end there. I'm absolutely going to follow up with Nolan about that festival of the Gathering of the Juggalos. I have so many questions. So stay tuned. Follow up by listening to the podcast. That's where you're going to get a little bit more of that story. And as always, till next time, cheers.